Good morning, degenerates, and welcome to another episode of Boring Crypto IO, place where I read you the boring crypto news every morning, Monday through Friday, just so you don't have to. My name is Not Important, and I'm your host. Guys, please subscribe to the channel, turn that bell for notifications, and like the video. And let's get into it. Not a lot going on again. Philippines to sell $179 million in tokenized treasury bonds for the first time. Tokenized treasury bonds. Grayscale ETH futures ETF, a Trojan horse for spot Ethereum ETF, says analyst. Maybe, but Blackrock might beat you to the punch. Blackrock files for spot Ethereum ETF with the SEC. It is official. This just dropped 6:30 a.m. this morning. Believe it or not, though, ETH not pumping on the news, guys, to the market. Right now, current market cap sitting at, let me refresh just to be safe, 1.43 trillion, up 2.11% from yesterday. Bitcoin dominance 51%, ETH dominance 17.3%, and the 32 Gwei will get you that ETH transaction. Greed moving up again, 77 for the greed. Will we get into the 80s? I don't know. Does it matter anymore? Like, every time I see this thing, it doesn't really change the direction of the market. I almost feel like this is kind of losing its weight. I remember when I first started seeing people talk about this a few years back. I don't know. I mean, yeah, but I'm answering questions in my head. Should you buy a bunch of green candles? No, but do you buy into strength and sell into weakness? Yes. And right now the market's looking pretty strong. Or I'm just some idiot in a room that doesn't know what the hell he's doing. Who knows? Both could be true. All right, guys, let's go through the top 100. Look for the outliers. Keep you up to date with what's going on. Bitcoin being a little wonky. We're going to talk about that here shortly. Up 2.43% as we speak. Again, ETH not really doing much on this Blackrock news, which is maybe we're done. Maybe we're over it. Maybe we're over the ETF news until one gets approved. None of this shit matters anymore, which is a possibility. We have squeezed all the juice out of the spot ETF speculation. That might be the vibe. All right, let's go. 5.38 for Cardano, finally waking up just a little bit. 6.46 for Doge. What is Doge at? Just under 8 cents. Okay, whoop-de-doo, Basil. 17.47 for Avalanche. Avalanche waking up 66% on the week. Well done, Avalanche. 20%. Whoa, Caspa is running. And it even looks like it's pulled back a little bit from where it was. Caspa, congratulations, guys. What is that thing at right now? Market cap? 2.8 billion. Groovy. Go make some money, guys. 8.71 to the upside for Thorchain. Still crushing it. 69.97 for the week. Near Protocol up almost 5%. Holy hell, Render ripping 25.84%. Phantom 11.92%. Did anyone get the news that Bitcoin's kind of looking weak? I guess not. Synthetics 12.71% to the upside. TIA, this thing was going crazy. So a pullback from this is not. Slushed it down 6% on the day. I'm not surprised about that, man. People taking profits. That is not that crazy. 12% to the upside for Ordi. ORDI. 5.47 the upside for Woo. Remember, Woo was just creeping back into the top 100. I think it's yesterday, the day before. It's now up to 95. Yearn Finance back on the block. 28.78% to the upside. 114 on the week. Wow. And there you go, guys. There's your top 100. If you're making money, maybe take some profits on the table. Why not? I'm going to show you what I'm talking about here with Bitcoin. Getting a little bit of a bounce right now off of 37. Okay, here's my fear. Before you guys, if you've been in the channel and you were here yesterday, I've been beating these levels and beating this price action to death. But here's what I'm going to say. Here's my concern. Here is my bearish scenario. This 38 is looking rough as resistance. We're going to put in a red there because that dude is not our friend right now. Okay. If we're going to get to 40 before a big pullback, we've got to break this. You know, we've hit damn near it exactly 2 times, and this could potentially be a double top, guys. I know the price actually looks a little wonky, but I would consider this a double top. Going to the 1 hour because I want to see what the price actually looks like on the 1 hour compared. We had this weird rollover instead of like the basic W pattern. For double top or an M pattern, whatever you want to call it. But guys, this is a double top, in my opinion. 2 times we've hit it and gotten rejected hard. Hit it, rejected hard. Now, right now, and I'm on the 30-minute right now too. Just trying to figure out what the price action is doing, guys. And we're in a downtrend on the 30-minute. We're in a downtrend, and 37,589 is looking like resistance again. Okay, it was resistance here, and I thought 37 was going to flip to support. It did not. We lost it. Came back down. Again, we're using it as support. Again, it looks like just above 37-ish. We'll call that 37 for shits and giggles. But right now, we are in a mini downtrend on the 30-minute. Okay. Now, can this play all the way out down here? Let's see if we do. If we get an actual another bounce off of 37 and flip 37 to strong support, that would be a good scenario. But this is a descending channel. This is a reversal in price action, guys. It's concerning. Look on the 1 hour. I like the 4 a lot, man. I'm not a huge fan of small time frames, guys. You know that, but it does give you an idea of what price action, what direction price action is heading. It's just like kind of a setup. But right now, I'm just seeing a little bit of weakness in Bitcoin. Could we potentially see a pullback all the way back down to 35.2, if not 35.2, the top or the bottom of this this trend line that was the ascending triangle, bottom trend line, which respected perfectly right here. Which again, and I meant to bring this up, but I told you guys about this yesterday. I said if we hold this, we could rip right back up, and that's exactly what we did. Go back and watch the video from yesterday. That's what I was talking about. So that's cool. Stoked for that. But again, with us hitting basically 38 and getting rejected again, it's just not looking strong, man. We've got to break 38. That's our next thing, or we come. I wouldn't be surprised if we come back down to 35-ish, 35.6 if we hit 35.6-ish if we hit the top of this and hold. But I got a feeling that's not even a thing. I just brought it just in case. Brought it up and out just in case, but yeah, I wouldn't be surprised, guys. Before we rip finally to 40, that's where my head's at. That is Bitcoin. You know my levels if we lose it. Yeah, we're rolling over here. Red dots playing out. Ooh. The 1 hour came way back here. 1 hour. Okay. No, still turning down. I hate to be bearish. Like, I'm like, ugh. And we're sitting right at the center line, guys. On the 1 hour. But that is trending down. We might get a bounce. If we do, we need it here. Or I could see us, if we lose 37 I would expect this to come back down to 35-ish, 35.6. That's what I'm seeing. That's my story, and I'm sticking to it. Outside of that, guys, unfortunately, ETH really isn't looking too strong off of the ETH or the ETF news. We did get kind of a bear trap and got back into our triangle pattern. This is a 4-hour pattern. I'm like, what is that? Sorry, guys. I can't talk and expand charts at the same time, clearly. So I drew a potential triangle pattern, symmetrical triangle for Ethereum. High, low, high, low, high, low, blah, blah, blah. We had this dip, which I guess you could consider it a bear trap, and then we broke back into the pattern, and we're respecting the lower trend line of the pattern again. Just keep around. If we lose again, we could dip hard, just like this. All right. But I unfortunately, like I said, I would expect to get some momentum in the price action of Ethereum based off the news, but it ain't there. So I don't know. Weird. Aside of that, guys, just keep your eyes on Bitcoin, man. It's going to control what's going on with the market. I know there's a handful of alts running right now. Cardano, Injective trying to wake back up. Injective might be done for a while. Depending on what you're looking at, this could be an idea of a double top. Whatever. Yeah, but then you kind of got a mini double bottom down here, double bottom there, 1 hour. Yeah, I don't like these two. So, okay, let me show you guys what I'm looking at, right? Not being able to put in a higher high. Starts to show me that we're potentially doing something like this, guys. Higher highs and lower lows. Okay. Watch the price action, okay? This could be the end of the run for a while for INJ. I'm not saying for the entire cycle. This could be a trap, but we'll put it to top of it for shits and giggles. Why not? Give yourself a little bit of room. I did, like I said, I did go back in around 15.18. This is my buy order. It got filled, pumped, but like 13%, something like that. More. Holy shit. 21%. Okay. But we couldn't hold this higher high. I thought we were going to project up. So keep your guys' eye on the price action of this. There is a rolling over, red dots printing, etc., on the 4 hour. Just be prepared for some consolidation of INJ. I mean, it had a huge run. I'm not saying it's done for the entire cycle, but it could be cool off time. Some food for thought. All right, guys, outside of that, let's get on to the news so I can get you out of here. Philippines to sell $179 million in tokenized treasury bonds for the first time. Real-world asset tokenization as a concept has existed for some time. However, in 2023, with the growing interest of institutions, various governments have started experimenting with the idea. The Philippines Bureau of Treasury announced it would offer 10 billion pesos, $179 million, of 1 year's tokenized treasury bonds for the first time after canceling the traditional auction scheduled for November 20th. The Bureau of Treasury will offer tokenized bonds to institutional buyers at a minimum donations of 10 million pesos with increments of 1 million pesos. The bonds will be valid for 1 year and due in November of 2024. The final interest rate will be disclosed on the issuance date, according to the report by Bloomberg. The bonds will be issued by the State-Owned Development Bank of the Philippines and the Land Bank of the Philippines. When asked whether the government is exploring continuous use of tokenized real-world assets and bonds, Deputy Treasury Erin Sta said it will continue to study the technology and test how far we can take it. The move by the Philippines to issue tokenized bonds over traditional ones comes amid a growing interest of Asian governments in the tokenized bond market. In February, Hong Kong issued $100 million in tokenized green bonds under its Green Bond Program, or Program A. Is that what that is? The government used Goldman Sachs tokenization protocol to tokenize the bonds with 1-year validity. Another Asian country, Singapore, recently launched a series of pilots on tokenizing real-world assets in partnership with JP Morgan, DBS Bank, BNY Mellon, and investment firm Apollo. United Arab Emirates has also teamed up with HSBC to carry out the tokenization of bonds. Apart from the growing popularity of blockchain-based real-world asset tokenization in Asia, Israel's Tel Aviv Stock Exchange also completed an out-of-proof of concept for tokenizing fiat and government bonds. Tokenization of real-world assets using blockchain technology has gained popularity among government recently. The trend has also gained momentum fueled by the interest of financial giants like JP Morgan, HSBC, and others. Welcome to the future. All right, guys. The important news. ETH ETF. That's what's going on. Grayscale ETH futures ETF. A Trojan horse for spot Ethereum ETF, says analyst. Bloomberg ETF analyst James S. thinks Grayscale's... Are these the only guys that talk about this stuff now? Balkunis and Mr. S. Are there any other people that hold weight? It's interesting. It's all I just hear these names constantly. Bloomberg ETF analyst James S. thinks Grayscale's Ethereum futures ETF application is just a ploy to corner the SEC to approve its... Well, of course. I told you guys this when they first did it. I said they're playing 3D or 4D chess with the SEC. As soon as they got the repeal for their Bitcoin futures to be turned into a spot ETF to reopen the case by the judge, they instantly applied for the same thing for their ETH futures to be turned into a spot ETF. And I said, yeah, they know exactly what they're doing. They're playing 4D chess. They're basically pigeonholing the SEC into forcing their hand. Grayscale investment is using ETH futures exchange traded fund ETF application as a Trojan horse according to the United States Securities and Exchange Commission into approving its spot ETH ETF, said Bloomberg ETF analyst James S. Again, I said this as soon as they applied for it. Go watch the video. Mr. S said in November 15th on X, posting following the SEC delaying Grayscale's ETF futures ETF bid, that he believes if the SEC approves Grayscale's application, it would enable Grayscale to argue for the approval of its spot Ether ETF application. If the SEC denies Grayscale's bid, the asset manager could argue the SEC is treating Bitcoin and ETH futures ETFs differently by allowing one under the Securities Act of 1933, but not the other. BINGO. Don't collect, go straight to jail. See you later, bye, SEC. Watch the SEC try to either approve the argue by why this is different from spot, or deny and argue why the 1933 Act products are meaningfully different from 1940 Act products. Both are bad for the SEC, in my opinion. It's a genuine move. Grayscale's ETH futures ETF bid was submitted via 19B-4 form, which is filed to inform the SEC of a security-based swap request. Mr. S said none of the 40 or so approved Ether ETF products went through the 19B-4 approval process. Mr. S was initially unsure why Grayscale filed its ETH futures ETF via 19B-4. He now believes Grayscale is playing... Thank you! This dude took the words out of my fucking mouth. This is what I said as soon as they filed for it, like a month ago. Go watch the video. They're playing chess with the SEC. They're doing a good job. They know exactly what they're doing. They're being very strategic. Playing chess with the SEC by using the ETH futures ETF as a Trojan horse to obtain a 19B-4 order from the regulator to corner them into a lose-lose situation. BINGO. Hit the nail on the head, Mr. S. All right, Mr. S and Scott Johnson, general president of the Van Buren Capital General, agreed Grayscale wouldn't launch the ETH futures ETF. Doubtful this product ever trades, but useful as a vessel to get spot ETH over the finish line, Johnson said. Mr. S's comment come as the SEC delayed its decision on Grayscale's ETH futures ETF on November 15th, 2 days earlier than its November 17th deadline. Safeart said he wasn't surprised by the delay. Hashcheck's application to convert its Bitcoin futures ETF into a spot product was also put on hold by the securities regulator on November 15th. BlackRock shared a similar sentiment to Mr. S's last week, arguing that the SEC doesn't have a legitimate reason to treat cryptocurrency spot future and futures ETF applications differently. Bingo. Gary, get your shit together, or these guys are going to eat you for lunch. And last but not least, guys, here it is. It is 100% official. Speaking of BlackRock, BlackRock files for spot Ethereum ETF with the SEC. Sorry, guys, I'm watching PAL right now, and some whales are dumping real hard in PAL today, like just out of nowhere. I haven't seen any news come up to see if I'm missing something, but they are beating up PAL. PAL ran almost 20 cents last night. And they're dumping on it hard right now as we speak. Sorry, it's distracting. I'm trying to figure out what's going on. I need to get on crypto Twitter, crypto X, and figure out if it's just some whales being shitheads or if there's some bad news that just came out about PAL. Doesn't really matter anyways. I'm locked up for the next 40 days. My bag could go to zero. Who knows? But I still believe in the project. I think it's a good project. The guys behind it are doing a good job from what I know. We shall see what happens. All right. Let me start this over, guys. I'm sorry. BlackRock files for spot Ethereum ETF with the SEC. BlackRock has officially filed for a spot Ethereum exchange-traded fund with the U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission. BlackRock, the world's largest asset manager, has officially filed for a spot Ethereum exchange-traded fund with the United States Securities and Exchange Commission. The ETF, dubbed iShares Ethereum Trust, seeks to reflect generally the performance of the price of ETH, reads Form S1, S-1, filed with the SEC by iShares late Wednesday. The iShares brand is associated with BlackRock's ETF products. The Form S-1 comes a week after BlackRock registered its iShares Ethereum Trust entity with the Delaware Department of State Division of Corporations. Then, hours after, NASDAQ filed for the proposed ETF, confirming BlackRock is working on a spot ETH ETF. BlackRock has selected Coinbase to custody trust the company. Has selected Coinbase Custody Trust Company as the custodian for its proposed spot Ether ETF. Additionally, the CME CF Bitcoin reference rate from the administrator CF Benchmarks, a subsidiary of Kraken, has been chosen as the proposed ETF's benchmark. These selections align with those made for its proposed spot Bitcoin ETF. The price of ETH nearly 2%, jumped nearly 2% around. Not really. The news. BlackRock's Bitcoin ETF filing awaits the SEC approval. We all know this. BlackRock filed for an iShares Bitcoin Trust in June of this year, which moved markets. The SEC is currently reviewing multiple spot Bitcoin ETF applications, including one for BlackRock. The asset manager's Bitcoin ETF ticker, IBTC, has also appeared on the Depository Trust and Clearing Corp's website since August, but was noticed only late last month. Big trading firms including Jane Street, Virtue Financial, and Jump Trading are reportedly already in talks to provide liquidity for BlackRock's proposed spot Bitcoin ETF if it obtains regulatory approval. Bitcoin's price has rallied over the past month due to the prospect of a spot Bitcoin ETF approval. Earlier this month, BlackRock's CEO Larry Fink said that the rally in the price of Bitcoins triggered by a false news report that its spot ETF was approved served as an example of pent-up interest in crypto. I 100% agree. There's a lot of people sitting on the sidelines waiting to get involved once this stuff goes through. If and when this stuff goes through, I should say. And that's it for that article, guys. Again, not a ton of exciting news going on. This is, I hate it. I hate waking up and going, there really isn't anything I mean, I could sit there and read you stuff about AI stuff being approved in countries that I'm not involved in, etc., etc. I don't really think you guys care to hear about that. I just give you the big chunks of, in my opinion, I give you the big chunks of what's important. But there are plenty of days I wake up and go, I almost don't want to do a video because it's nothing exciting, nothing that's really moving markets, nothing that I think would really affect people's bags, if that makes sense. But again, who the hell am I? But it's just my opinion. But let's look at Bitcoin one last time before we get out of here. Per usual. Yeah, this 37,217 might turn this to resistance, because that's what it was all here, right here. You know what I say? Keep your eye on it, guys. Be prepared for a dip. If we don't bounce at 37, be prepared for a dip, guys. Trade accordingly. But outside, guys, that's all I've got for you this morning. If you do enjoy the content I provide for you here every morning on Boring Crypto.io, please, by all means, subscribe to the channel, turn on the bell for notifications, watch the videos, share the videos on all of your social channels. And above all, if there's anything you can do to help spread the adoption of crypto and this channel, please like the videos. Don't be a lazy liker. Guys, and I will see you bright and early tomorrow morning. I am out of here.